Hey, I get it, guys. If you said that nobody has time for that, like I understand, right? Like tiered test cards are a fantastic idea, but you still have to make them, right? They're a great way to give leveled content to students, but you got to do the creation. Now, I always thought the time spent creating a tiered test card was worth it because I was going to use it year after year. I sort of saw it as front loaded time, but I can show you an even faster way to create them, and that's using an AI chatbot as a thought partner. Now, what do I mean by an AI chatbot? Well, AI stands for artificial intelligence. You've been using artificial intelligence already in your life. You know, when you're in Netflix and it's recommending new shows for you to watch, that's because it's using your pattern of viewing to identify new shows that you might be interested in. That's a form of AI. You know how when you're in Amazon and you're choosing products and then all of a sudden it makes seven recommendations about more things to buy? That's using your patterns in your shopping history. And AI is going in and studying those patterns to make recommendations to you about what you might like to do next. AI chatbots are a tool that allow you to generate new content by having conversations back and forth with the technology. So when you're using an AI chatbot, you're actually having a conversation with a neural network, which is this giant technology idea. What you need to know as teachers is that it can help you accomplish almost any collaborative task. Like, want to write an assessment? An AI chatbot can help you with that. Want to develop a proficiency scale? An AI chatbot can help you with that. Want to unpack a standard? An AI chatbot can help you with that. In this particular case, it can help you to create tiered task cards. Let me give you an example of that. Let's say that I'm a seventh grade social studies teacher and I'm teaching the caste system to my students. If I wanted to create a tiered task card, I need a high interest piece of content for kids to explore, right? So I'm going to use this prompt that you see on my screen. Can you write a high interest 5 paragraph reading passage for seventh graders on the caste system? And when I go back to ChatGPT and I type that in, right, and all I'm doing is copying and pasting to save time, it's going to instantly give me a high interest 5 paragraph reading passage on the caste system. In my tiered task card, that can become the external content that I have kids explore. I might take this passage and pair it together with some pictures or some visuals. I might post it into my Google Drive or into Canvas. And now I've got something that my students can explore. Now, here's what's interesting. From a differentiation standpoint, you and I both know that not every student in my seventh grade social studies class can read on the seventh grade reading level, right? So I'm going to go in and I'm going to say, can you rewrite that passage for me? And can you write it on the fifth grade reading level? And why would I do that? Well, because now as a teacher, I have two different reading passages that I can use with my students. All of the students can interact with the tiered task card. Some can get a reading passage that's at a different reading level just to provide them with support. Are you with me so far? Now, I don't have a tiered task card yet, right? I need tasks that are leveled by DOK that are related to that passage. So I'm going to go in right now and I'm going to actually ask ChatGPT to give me 4 tasks that are connected, leveled by DOK, and connected to the reading passage that it just wrote. And when I type that in, sure enough, it's going to give me those tasks right off. That blows my mind. I actually wasn't sure whether or not it was going to be able to create tasks leveled by DOK because the phrase DOK feels so education specific to me. So I wasn't positive it could do that, but sure enough, it can. Now, do I know if any of this content is any good? No, I have no clue. I haven't even read it yet. But what I do know is that some of that content is going to be good, and I'll be able to use some of it. And so even if there's content in there that I can't use quite the way that it's set up, even if I have to modify some of that, you and I both know that working from a draft is always easier than generating original content on your own. Now, primary teachers out there, I want you to see that this can be helpful to you too. The way I'll do that is I'm going to go back here and I'm going to ask ChatGPT to start a brand new chat. So we're done with that social studies conversation for a second. And I want to go in this time and I'm going to say, can you give me 4 tasks leveled by DOK that primary students can complete in stations to learn more about counting and cardinality? So remember, primary teachers, I think it would be a really neat idea for you to have a wonder bin in your room with leveled stations that kids can complete. Let's go see whether or not ChatGPT can make those leveled stations for us around counting and cardinality. And sure enough, up come 4 stations leveled by DOK that are connected to the concept of counting and cardinality. Are the stations any good? Again, I have no idea, guys, right? I haven't even read them yet. It just literally spit them out. But what I can tell you is that the vast majority of times when I'm working with an AI chatbot, I get content that's useful. Maybe not all of the content, but certainly some of the content will be a great starting point for me. But even if none of it was useful, what did I lose, right? That took me 4 seconds. One of the things that I did notice is that when I ask for primary content, oftentimes I need to go back and ask it to give me directions that are written in student-friendly language. So you can see that here. Sometimes chatbots come back with content that's written in a language that isn't appropriate for students who are in the primary grades. But if I go back in and say, now give me directions for these stations that are written in student-friendly language, it'll generate that for me too. I just think that's an awesome way for us to start to save ourselves some time. I want you to differentiate. I think a good way to differentiate is to create tiered task cards. However, creating the tiered task card takes time and energy and effort on the part of the teacher. So let me save you some time, energy, and effort and encourage you to tinker with an AI chatbot in order to do some of that work.